Hello and welcome to another App Marketing Conversations. I'm Ian Sefferman of Mobile Dev HQ by Tune, here with Ryan Morel of Gamehouse, Robi Ganguly of Apptentive. We are doing some look back, look forward type posts where we are recapping predictions that we made in early 2014 and also sort of related to that, making new predictions for 2015. You can make sure to check out all of those. And looking back at what we predicted on sort of the ASO front in 2014, there were really two themes that came out of that video, which we'll make sure to link to on the page. The first is there would be a convergence of web and mobile, meaning really that you would see no difference between a native app and a mobile web and like how you access things, and all of that would come together. The second big theme that we talked about was, I think we said it very succinctly in there, we never have to ask the question again, HTML5 or native. Let's take the second one first. Do you think we continue to ask that question in 2014?
So I think people asked the question and talked about it, but I don't think anybody really serious about their app business and quality were talking about it anymore. I felt like they had really moved to, okay, we know, we got to do it native. The experience is just not that good.
Well, what do you think, specifically, like, what do you think the merits of HTML5 continue to be?
Best thing, obviously, is that you don't have to deal with the various operating systems. There continues to be issues with, the different operating systems, not only on Android, but also we see some issues with iOS recently with the size of the iOS 8 install, right? So like you kind of have to deal with some of that stuff.
Yep.
When you're developing natively, which you don't with HTML5. However, I think it is really clear at this point that it's going to take a paradigm shift of some kind to make HTML5 the programming language of choice, not only for developers but also for consumers to consume content.
Yeah. So I generally agree with both of you guys. Feels like maybe we got a sort of weakly correct but not strongly correct there, and that the conversation continued to happen, but most of the top players sort of figured that piece out.
Yeah. I think we should add one, because I think there's an interesting conversation here, right? That like around this is really just about how to consume content as a front end. What language should you use to enable consumers to consume content, right? When like the open web is really about the transfer of data between two disparate systems, and so I think everything from an app perspective has always been thought of. Apps have always been thought of kind of like this closed ecosystem and this closed thing, when in reality, over the last year, we saw just a ton of APIs and a real focus from Google and Apple, especially on how to give apps and content access continually to the web and all the different contexts of where they are, so like location, time, weather, etc., to make them just better experiences.
I think that's a great segue into that sort of first theme of the convergence of web and mobile. I think we saw things like Google App Indexing sort of started to take hold, a little bit larger adoption. Facebook App Links was there, that became important. There are companies being funded. URX was funded by Excel, was focused sort of solely on that deep linking aspect of the world. Quixie as a search engine is focused on search within apps that they can then expose, more broadly. Spotlight Search on iOS 8 has the web and apps sort of mingled together. So taking all that data, do you think we were right about the convergence of web and mobile, or?
I think we were overly optimistic. I mean, I think there's a lot of breakpoints. And just in my own daily personal use, I get the email from LinkedIn, and then I click on it, and I would like to open up the LinkedIn app, and instead I get the LinkedIn mobile landing page, and it's just, it drives me nuts, right? So I don't think that it's truly really converged. I think people are doing a better job, but we've got a ways to go for that to work really seamlessly.
I agree with that completely. You?
Yeah. I agree. It's getting a lot better though. Like I especially am a big fan of Spotlight Search.
Yeah.
and I think I've said this, we've probably talked about this before, about how I think it's Apple's kind of underhanded like shot at Google.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about how you use your iOS device, but
I use Spotlight all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
That's almost I have no idea where any of my apps are other than like.
Yeah. I have actually gone so far as like the picture in my background is more important to me than the icons on my home screen. So I've been thinking about basically getting rid of all except for the home row on my first screen, and just Spotlight search as my primary one, and then I get to see the picture.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that the only thing I don't like about it is somewhat inconsistent in terms of what it returns.
Yeah.
Like they do a good job though of like I'm looking for a phone number or whatever, or even a place. Like Spotlight search will bring up maps, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we might have done the worst on the ASO predictions of any of the three of us.
Well, so what do you think has ASO gotten a lot better in the last year from like forgetting about the convergence of web and mobile?
I'm not convinced that ASO got an order of magnitude better in terms of the opportunities for marketers. It got an order of magnitude or more better in terms of the adoption by marketers. But I think that we still have a long way to go there, and I think that convergence will help a lot, and I do believe that that's still coming, just at a slower pace than I expected it to.
Yeah. And what about from a platform perspective? Did they do as much as you thought they would to improve search in app stores, or no?
Google leading the way by far. Yeah, Google doing a much better job than Apple. Apple sort of showing that they want to do stuff there, but not actually like implementing on it or executing on it. Yeah. Still a little bit of vaporware in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a week that goes by without one of the developers I follow on Twitter posting a screenshot of some stupid search results that they're saying in the App Store, and that doesn't seem to happen on Google very often.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. So. So I would give us about maybe like a 40% on this one, and so we're losing money at the casino on the 40% odds. But the flip side to that is I think in technology, big businesses are built in venture returns are all made from 1 out of 10 companies. So maybe we actually need to be reaching a little bit higher.
Yeah. Well, I also thought you probably made the most ambitious prediction in yours, where we're talking about that convergence, because that's something we would like, but that obviously requires a lot to move.
I would almost say that, like, despite the fact that a lot has changed, we don't seem to be in a dramatically different place than we were a year ago. Right. But if I look, is that normal? I don't know. Like, if we look back 5 years, it's way different.
Yeah.
Right. But year to year kind of doesn't seem.
You kind of wonder if we are the frogs sitting in a pot of water that's about to boil. Yeah. We can't notice that it's getting really hot. All right, well, make sure to watch on that note, as we're about to try to jump out. Make sure to watch the other recaps as well as the other predictions for 2015. Thanks.